Hey everyone, Loken and I are back to talk about the latest chapter of My Hero Academia. Join the discussion by leaving a comment and let us know what your take would be. Spoiler warning, this video will cover chapter 311 of My Hero Academia. If you enjoy these videos, please help support the channel by leaving a like and subscribing to Texas Smash. Hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications so that you can be sure to catch us every time a new chapter is released. Let's nerd out together. What's up, audience? We have a special guest today for Texas Smash. Rolly is a close friend of both Loken and I, and we're super excited to have her on the channel. 311 kicks off with some irrelevant villains attacking a store. Endeavor notes how their attacks are from illegally enhanced support items, courtesy of Redistro's company, Determinant. Once this is resolved, Endeavor joins Hawks and Genist. He is met by a group of protesters who are less than grateful. The top three heroes remove themselves from the situation and leave in Genist's car. Let's jump right in. Who wants to kick us off?
I'm new, so I'll follow.
I was just going to jump in with Endeavor's hero costume. Looks like that when he's fighting these guys. Oh, do you know what those are? The shoulder pads? Like what that's for? That's new, right?
I remember him having shoulder pads before, but I don't remember them being that big.
I did not notice that.
Interesting upgrade for Endeavor. I'm like, okay, cool. I wonder what kind of impact it has. But and then his move, I don't know if that's what, his little fire dart or ignited arrow. That was cool.
That is a new move. Yeah. He's never done that before. And he does call out, how do you say it? Detnerat, which is the company that Redistro runs.
Right.
So we haven't really heard their name in a while. Man, now that you call out the shoulder pads, I'm seeing it plain as day. I can't believe I didn't notice that. They're huge.
I wonder if it's due to all the damage he's been taking lately. And it's just there to provide extra support.
Exactly. He's, with everything he's been through, it's kind of like Deku and his gauntlets. Is Endeavor need that?
Or maybe
he's been taking things back to back lately.
Maybe it's to help with all the tomatoes and Coke cans that the crowd's throwing at him.
I can see that.
Yeah. They hate him. Society is hating him. That's crazy.
Yeah. You know how I feel about that already.
Yeah.
The part where they have the protesting signs at the surface level, that's pretty simple of a panel. But take note of that, because I do want to call back to that when we get to the second half.
Okay.
Like, we don't need fake heroes. Get out of. I mean, it looks like just a normal protest, but I'll come back to that panel once we get to the second half of the chapter. Yeah, they definitely don't like Endeavor.
They don't, and they did catch on with the fact that Shigaraki is after someone. And so they know that there is another secret that's being held, and then the fact that, the distrust is going so deep now, the fact that they don't know who that someone is just making them even more uneasy.
Which there's, the Public Safety Commission or any number of ways that the society could get that piece of news, but they blame it all on Endeavor. Like Endeavor's supposed to be the number one hero and the number one broadcaster at the same time. But
they're
anyway,
putting them all on blast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny talking to you about this now, Loken, because do you feel bad for Endeavor? That means a lot coming from you.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think it's different at him. My perspective of him as a father versus a hero was different. I feel like now that he's really changing as a father, that is even a bigger impact as him as a hero. But I feel like at the end of the day, he was still tried his best as a hero. And now that we've got the backstory of everything, yeah, I mean, I do feel bad for him now. Not everyone has the full picture, and they're automatically just judging him and going after him. So, yeah, I feel bad for him.
It's a lot of sympathy from me given everything that's going on. And it does make me wonder if All Might isn't in the position he was, and let's say he was still number one hero. Well, first, I don't think all of that would have went down to begin with, but let's say it did, just for hypothetical purposes here. How differently would they have treated All Might compared to Endeavor?
Night and day.
Yes, he would have been given a lot more leniency for it.
I don't know what the league could have really done to tear down All Might's name. That was a big part of it. If that hadn't happened, I mean, they don't love Endeavor nearly as much as All Might, but All Might doesn't have anything to really put on blast on the media like they did NG. Yep, good point. Anything else on that first bit? The second half is a little longer, so.
No.
That's all I got.
Yeah, not too much to cover there. So, while the top three heroes are all in the car, they reassess what they know today. Edgeshot is continuing to investigate the Liberation Front. They decide to keep a safe distance from Deku in order to keep the aggressive protesters away from Deku, as Deku has enough to deal with at the moment than to be associated with Enji. Enji reminds the others that All For One's top priority is to take over Tomora's body. Hawks ponders about why All For One needs Tomora's hatred in order to achieve his goal. He speculated that this is required to override the will of all the previous One For All users within the Vestige world. Endeavor has a realization that All For One must not have strong emotions of hatred. All For One has no heart. The scene shifts to All Might watching Deku on his GPS in his car, when suddenly the signal vanishes. All Might doesn't have much time to think about why, as a grenade suddenly flies into his car and explodes. The scene then shifts to Deku, who is attacked by the girl we saw during the Tartarus breakout. She closes the chapter by telling Deku to follow her orders, and if he does, she'll leave his limbs attached. Second half of the chapter, to be honest, a lot of this stuff, most of us kind of already knew. This whole conversation in the car, I mean, it was just confirmation of things that we kind of already knew. I mean, we know All For One's trying to take over Shigaraki's body. I did find it interesting, though, that Edshot's still investigating the Liberation Front. I thought that was noteworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dang, did he ever leave? Last I saw him, he was fighting Redistro. I don't know. I thought that was noteworthy, though. I like checking in on Edshot.
It makes me wonder, because we didn't really get to see his reaction, what Endeavor's reaction was to finding out about One For All. Given that he tried so hard to reach the level of All Might, what was his reaction whenever he found all this out?
So that helped Bakugo, right? Finding out about One For All. That helped him wrap his mind around everything. But Endeavor kind of already had that change of character because of his family circumstances. So I think he had just really turned such a corner that he just handled it in such a way that it almost seemed like he had no reaction, but he just took it in stride. Whereas the old Endeavor would have really freaked out about that, you know?
Yeah.
He's definitely developed as a character. And I mean, even here, he's still worried about Deku and not wanting to burden him and working separately with him. So I do think it's really crazy to see how much he's changed and just developed.
Yeah, because you bring up Deku. Remember at the beginning of the Endeavor agency arc when he was basically saying, like, if Shoto wasn't here, I wouldn't even be bothered with you too. Like, it wasn't too long ago where he was very dismissive of Deku. I think Deku reminds of All Might a little too much. So,
right.
But not anymore, like you said. So yeah, that's definitely showcasing his development.
And I'm sure after that battle that they went through together, that has got to create some kind of a bond, with everyone. And just the threat level is so high. It's you got to put aside all your pride and just focus on the goal of beating Shigaraki and All For One.
Yeah.
The heroes see the big picture here, but society is having trouble with that.
Right.
And to be honest, kind of like I was saying earlier, we kind of already knew the reason All For One needs Tamora is because Tamora has an extraordinary amount of hatred. I mean, it was nice to get the confirmation to see it in writing, but nothing too shocking there because we already suspected that the reason he needs to take over Tamora and use his hatred is to override the wills of the previous users. So just nice to get it confirmation, but already suspected for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have gotten a lot of this information, like you said, just them in the car, and it's almost like a refresher and confirmation from them, and it's kind of cool. Hawks and Best Genus going back and forth, theorizing themselves. How will this all work out? Is the hatred gonna be enough? What's gonna win out? We're getting a good, viewpoint of like Deku's will to want to save Shigaraki, but then also the other side of that coin being Shigaraki's hate. Which one's gonna be the one to win?
Tamora has a fighting chance too, right? Because they're bringing up how the procedure was not complete, so that leaves the window open for Tamora to shake the chains, so to speak, get out of his predicament. And I never thought about it. I mean, it makes sense, but the All Might not having, I mean, I'm sorry, not All Might. What am I saying? All for One not having any hatred himself, because of a lack of a heart. I mean, I thought that was kind of interesting. It makes perfect sense. I just never thought about it like that. That's why it's Tamora, because
Yeah, that hadn't. I haven't thought of that either until they pretty much said it. I'm like, well, that makes sense.
it's weird to think that All for One has no hatred.
Everything he does is, I guess, just for giggles.
He just likes to mess everyone's life up. Let's just cut straight to it. This ain't gonna be how All Might goes out. I don't think anybody want to argue with me on that one. All Might's not going out with a grenade in his car. That's not how he's gonna die.
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
I didn't expect an argument.
I probably wouldn't be able to keep on reading if that was to happen.
Right.
But Rolly and I were talking, and we both agree, and Loken agrees too. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Loken, but we're all still on board that all three of us do think that All Might will, by the end of the series, die. We just not like this.
Yeah,
Right.
I do think he'll die before the series is over.
Which will be sad.
I think more of like a sacrifice. Like he's gonna die, and it'll be like some way to sacrifice to save Deku or something impactful, not just a bomb in a car. But the one who shot it, man, finally we're getting to see her. That was the highlight of the chapter for me, was getting to see her. And I mean, her quirk is crazy, and then that's what's been getting like clearly a transformation quirk. But wasn't she, when they broke out of the prison, electric? Did All for One upgrade her?
No, I don't think. I remember we thought that originally, but the electricity, I'm pretty sure that was coming from All for One's cell, not her cell. But I mean, this literally just came to my mind right now, looking at this picture. Can she do other stuff? Does it have to be a gun? Is she related to Momo? Yeah.
Is she related to Momo?
Is
That
a
was my thought.
Creation type quirk, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she can make other things, or if it has to be that sniper.
I would assume she could make other things if she's going to be able to put up a good fight.
The way it's coming off her arm like that really looks like, Momo's cannons, or, like how Momo does. So,
Right. But she does the grenades, or there's the little items on her belt, and then it also looks like her legs even transformed into like almost an anchor to solidify her onto the roof so she doesn't get blown back. So I mean, that's her body transforming, but it would be interesting to see if she can create things like Momo does.
and then obviously you got Overhaul leaning back there.
Mm-hmm.
Got to bring him up.
Right.
The question is why? Why is Overhaul still with her?
Mm-hmm.
She let him out, but I suspected for a while that maybe this girl doesn't necessarily work for All for One, but the very last panel kind of debunks that. Unless it's a mistranslation. I guess that's always a possibility. But
Yeah.
I was wondering, so this goes back to that panel I said to remember, the protesting panel. So
Mm-hmm.
Stain, right? Like we haven't seen him either. I was wondering if maybe there's a new group that's bad guys, but also not necessarily allies with the League of Villains.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I was going. Like maybe Stain's riling them up. We don't need fake heroes. I mean, that sounds like Stain wrote her poster. Uh, and then if you could add in Overhaul and this girl, I mean, that could be something to help the heroes out too, because they need anything they can get. If they start fighting amongst themselves, the villains, that could help the heroes out too. So I
That's
wonder.
true.
But then again, the last panel says an assassin sent by All for One. Although you could take a job for All for One, that doesn't mean you work for them. Mercenary.
Right. And also that could just be Deku assuming All for One's in
Exactly.
him.
Yeah. I was
So,
thinking that he could just be assuming that.
Because they are targeting him. That's why he's assuming that. But
mhm.
Stain would probably want to target Deku, right? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how high of a priority that would be.
I don't think Stain though would. If anything, I could see him fighting along with Deku rather than trying to take him out. Since
Or what if
he basically
ahead.
had to prove it the last time they met up.
Well, not saying he's trying to take him out, but what if he just wants to talk to him,
It's one heck of a way to get the chance to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a villain and crazy. So that kind of makes sense, though. I mean, if she wanted to, I feel like she could have had a direct hit, most likely, depending on his danger sense. But she did just go shoot next to him, so that would be interesting if they are teaming up with Stain and just gonna take him to him. That would be cool. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I would love to see them connect again.
A little bit of a reach, to be honest, connecting all of the Stain with this girl, with Overhaul. But, I mean, I've been arguing for a long time that Overhaul is in some way he's with this girl. I mean, the League of Villains don't want him. They never really wanted him to begin with. They were just trying to use him. The Hisaikai tolerated him, but now they definitely don't want him anymore. He doesn't have anywhere to go. He doesn't have arms. Like, it just makes sense that he would just want someone who would want him,
Right.
And she let him out. I always go back to that. Do you think this girl and Overhaul are related to responsible for the grenade in All Might's car, or do you think that's two different groups? Because you don't see anything about who throws that grenade.
Yeah.
Don't. I'm not sure on that one.
It feels like just because the way the chapter goes, you see the grenade in the car and it goes right to that girl. It implies it, but imply being the key word.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think? Does this girl work for All for One or not? It's total guess at this point, but if you had to guess.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
She's independent. Or a separate group, at least. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. I'm hoping that, anyways.
Yeah, I hope that as well. Just seeing different factions of all the villains getting together.
And is she related to Momo?
Her long lost aunt.
Based off of that one picture alone, is she related to Momo?
I think so. An aunt, totally.
Have we ever seen Momo's mom? I don't think we have. Have we? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't recall her at all.
They just were at her house at one time.
Mm-hmm. But they're never there. Her parents, I mean. Right. Interesting. All right. Well, any final takes before we take some questions?
That's all I got this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it from me. I'm just excited to see where it goes from here.
Oh, I'm super excited for now. I want to see. I've been looking forward to this girl since, what was the Tartarus chapter? Like 297 or 298, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been they teased her and then just left us in the dark for a while. So I'm excited to see what she does. 'Cause you know she has to have done something. She was on the bottom floor of Tartarus. Like, they don't put you there for no reason. So
Exactly.
Right.
cool. Okay. Well, we had a few people shuffle in and out. We only got two. You guys got any questions for us before we close out? What's up?
What's up, man?
What you got for us?
I got two questions. Is this a new thing on Discord? Because I have never seen this.
This is I think less than 6 months old. So yeah, it's pretty fresh. Yep.
Also, I'm going back to your grenade thing. Yeah, I think the girl did throw the grenade, but I don't think overall it's working for her. And I don't think she's
Okay.
working for one for all. I mean, all for one.
So you think she's solo, this girl?
Yeah. I mean, she probably has a goal, but I don't think she's working for all for one.
Gotcha.
Cool.
She could definitely be solo. I can see that too, for sure. Forcing one, maybe she's just dragging Overhaul around with her. That's very possible.
Yeah. I just hope, I wish my boy well. I hope they don't kill him off or anything.
Yeah.
Is Overhaul your
Give him a
boy?
good end. Yeah, that's my boy.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of speculation he's going to be able to start stomping, have like a quirk awakening, and be able to use his power again.
That would be amazing. I would be happy. But also, in the end, I do want him to go revive his father.
Well, that's what he was trying to do. It almost seems like that girl.
Yeah,
forced him.
knocked him out.
Right. Because right when he got out of his cell, he said "boss." That was his first words. So
Yeah.
that's definitely what he wants to do.
But hey, I'm excited to see the next chapter and everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool, man. Thanks for the questions. All right. Well, I guess that'll wrap up this week.
Awesome.
Did you really name it Craig?
I didn't name it, Craig. They named it.